Well, welcome to another math class. Today we'll be talking about profit and loss account. When is profit made? And when can we say loss is made? Profit is made when the selling price is greater than the cost price. So we say profit equals selling price minus cost price. That will be our number one formula. Then loss is made when the cost price is greater than the selling price, or the selling price is less than the cost price. So we say loss equals cost price minus selling price. What's selling price? Selling price is the amount with which we want to sell our goods, our product. Cost price is the amount with which we bought it. Now, when the amount with which we are willing to sell is greater than the amount we bought, we make profit. When the amount we are willing to sell is less than the amount we bought, there is losses made. That's number one. Find the loss percent or gain percent when an article is bought for 1,640 naira and sold for 1,927 naira. The person bought this article 1,640 naira and he sold it at 1,927 naira. So he bought it at a cost price of 1,640 and then sold it at 1,927. So the selling price was more than the cost price. Then there's a profit again. So the gain will be selling price minus cost price, will be 1,927 minus 1,642, and that's 647.81. So he made a profit of 187 naira because we removed the cost price from the selling price. 1,927 minus 1,640 is 2. 12 take away 4, that's 8. So this remain 8. So he made a profit of 287 naira. So profit percent will be profit over cost price times 100 over 1. That will be profit 287 over what's the cost price? Cost price is 1,640 times 100 over 1. Profit percent therefore will give us 17.5%. So he made a gain of 17.5% when he sold this article for 1,927 and after buying it for 1,640 naira. So the gain was 287 naira. Since when an article is bought for 18,400 and sold for 10,120. 10,120. So here he bought the article at 18,400 and then sold it selling price at 10,120. So the cost price is more than the selling price. So a loss is made here. Loss will be the cost price 18,400 minus 10,120. 18,400 minus 10,120. So the loss he made was 7,280 naira. That's the loss. So the loss percent will be the loss over cost price times 100 over 1. So the loss is 7,280. 7,280 So this 8,000. It is 8. Because 8 minus 0 is 8. So that's it made a loss of 8,280. So the loss percent will be loss over cost price times 100 over 1. The loss will now be 8,280 over cost price. What's the cost price? The cost price here is 18,400 times 100 over 1. These two zeros will cancel these two zeros. So what we have will be 8,280 divided by 184. And that will give us 45%. So the loss is 45% loss. So this individual made a loss of 45% after selling a product for 10,120 after buying it for 18,400 naira. Find profit of 10%. Cost price is unknown, but we are given the selling price to be 770, and then we are given a profit percent of 10. What formula comes to mind? Selling price equals to 100 plus profit, open and close bracket percent times cost price. So our cost price here will be the selling price over 100 plus profit times 100 over 1. So the selling price is what? 770. Now the cost price, the profit is 10. So we'll say 100 plus 10. And 100 plus 10 will give us times 100 over 1. So what we have is 770 over 100 plus 10. That's 110. That's 100 over 1. So this, we cancel this. 11 here 1, 11 here 7. 7 times 100 gives us 700. So our cost price will be 700 naira. So our cost price becomes 700 naira. So if the cost price is 700 naira and he sold it for 770, so he had made a gain of 70 naira on this particular commodity. For 585 naira at a profit of 30%. At a profit of 30%. So what do we do here? We are looking for the cost price, but we have a selling price of 585 and we are given a profit percent of 35%. So cost price equals selling price over, since it's profit, it will be 100 plus profit times 100 over 1. What's the selling price? 585. What's the cost? What's the profit? 35. The profit is 30 times 100 over 1. So that will give us 585 over 130 times 100 over 1. 0 here will cut 0 here. So what we have is 5,850 divided by 13. And that will give us 5,850 divided by 13. That will give us 450 naira. So our cost price will be 450 naira. So he bought it for 450. He sold at 585. That means the selling price was more than the cost price, and he made a profit of 30% here. Question: find the cost price of an article which is bought for 1,575 naira and sold at a loss of 16%. Sold at a loss of 16%. So here the cost price is unknown, but we are given a selling price of 1,575 and then a loss percent of 16. It tells us that the cost price was more than what he sold. Maybe the article got spoiled or something. So our cost price here will be selling price over 100 minus the loss times 100 over 1. So the selling price is 1,575 over 1. The loss is 16. So 100 minus 16 will give us 84 times 100 over 1. 84, yes. So the cost price will be 1,875 naira by the time this calculation is done. So he bought it at 1,875 naira and sold it at a much lesser cost. Sold it at it sold it less than 300 naira than he bought it. So he made a loss. He made a loss of 16%. Find the cost price of an article which is sold for 31,960 and then sold at a loss of 6%. Here, the selling price is 31,960. The loss is 6%. We are asked for the cost price. Since it's a loss, the cost price is more than the selling price. So cost price here will be selling price over 100 minus loss times 100 over 1. What's the selling price? 31,960 over the loss is 6. So 100 minus 6 times 100 over 1. That gives us 31,960 over 100 minus 6. That's 94 times 100 over 1. This will give us 34,000. So the cost price equals 34,000. So he bought it at 34,000, for whatever reason sold at 31,960 at a loss of 6%. With these few examples, I want to believe that we have been made to be in acquaintance with what profit is, what losses are, how do we arrive at loss percent, profit percent, and then when we are given some parameters, we are given a selling price, we are given a loss percent or profit percent, and we are asked to find the cost price. With some of this example, I believe we have been made to come to be acquainted with how to find parameters that are missing in profit and loss account. In our next class, we will buttress more on profit, loss, profit percent, loss percent, selling price, and cost price. Thank you for your time. Meet you in the next class.